Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm back again with another segment. Do me a favor before we get started, just hit the notification bell, subscribe on YouTube, and most importantly, like and share the video. We got to reach as many people as possible before this election. So, Trump has been periodically letting everybody know that he's doing just fine, despite there being the media doing it, its damnedest to, put out, oh, Trump, he needed oxygen. Trump, the medical experts said he's not doing well. They're not happy. They're upset. They're scared for him. Oh, but the one doctor said he's doing okay. Get the hell out of here. If we're seeing him in videos and pictures, he's okay. If he's not on a damn ventilator, if he doesn't have an oxygen mask on, he's okay. And we had this whole thing. These idiots on the left went through this whole picture, and somebody moron took a picture of the TV and said, look at this line right here. This line is an oxygen tube going back behind his suit jacket and into a little oxygen tank that's in his hooked up to his back, and it's somehow feeding him oxygen, but it's not actually connected to his nose or his mouth. My God, everything is so stupid. People are so stupid. So they're, making up all this crap. But right here we have Trump could be discharged as early as Monday, doctors say. President Donald Trump could be discharged as early as tomorrow from the hospital as he battles the coronavirus, his medical team said on Sunday, while acknowledging Trump experienced concerning drops in his oxygen saturation levels both Friday and Saturday. The timing on a potential release from Walter Reed Medical Center, where Trump has been since Friday, was a change from the more cautious assessment the president's physician, Sean Connolly, gave on Saturday, when he declined to put a hard date on a possible discharge date. During the briefing on Trump's health Sunday morning, Connolly also confirmed that the president had received supplemental oxygen while at the White House on Friday morning, a step frequently taken in more serious coronavirus cases. Connolly, a day earlier, had avoided acknowledging Trump's need for supplemental oxygen before arriving at Walter Reed. Connolly also revealed on Sunday that the president had been given dexamethasone, a corticosteroid typically given to patients with severe COVID-19 cases. These people are so desperate for Trump to be dying. It's sick. It was so sick. These people, they're mentally deranged. They're mentally deranged. Listen, this is the president of the United States. I'm sorry. It's just reality in general, that the leader of the free world is going to be given a little bit more precautionary treatment than me. And I understand that, and I'm okay with that. He is important. He's more important because he is leading everybody right now. This is the bottom line. This is just the truth. So while if my oxygen levels were in the, say, low 90s, 92, say, they would say, no, just stay home and rest. You're okay. Call us back if you get under 90. If Trump's oxygen level gets to 92, 93, well, they have an oxygen tank right there. They have all the medical supplies right there at their fingertips. They don't have to take him to an emergency room. It's not a big deal to give him all this treatment. There's a doctor on standby right there to give him all this. Why not give it to him? Just so there's less potential of him reaching a more critical state. Doesn't that make sense? Does that mean that he's in critical condition because he's receiving extensive treatment? No, they're doing that so he can get back out there. He's the president of the United States. He has to be seen. People need to know their leader's okay. He wants to get back on the campaign trail. He wants to get back to work, signing legislation. He's been hammering away at the Democrats in Congress to actually finally come to the table and sign some legitimate COVID relief for people. Everybody needs another stimulus check. I'm telling you right now, People are starting to hurt. They're feeling the impact of the unemployment being taken away, the extra unemployment being taken away. Work is hit or miss. People need a little more stimulus. We're still locked down in a lot of states, New Jersey, New York, Michigan, etc. He's hammering away at them to do that. So he wants to get back to work. He wants to get out there. He wants to show everybody he's okay. So you have it right there. He might be coming home tomorrow. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Let's say a prayer for our president. And while we're at it, let's say a prayer for everybody else that's been infected. Chris Christie. I'm not even a big fan of Chris Christie. I'm not a big fan of Joe Biden. In fact, I don't like Joe Biden at all, obviously. I don't want anybody to get coronavirus and die. If they do get coronavirus, because most of us, if not all of us, are probably going to get it at some point, let's hope it's a mild case, like 99.6% of them are. Let's hope everybody's okay. You see how that works? Twitter scum. I think we should coin that new term, Twitter scum, because Twitter is nothing but a cesspool of scum. Terrible people. Social media in general has been the downfall of our society, if you ask me, but that's just another topic for another day. So anyway, what has happened since? Well, the president, like I said, is definitely eager to show everybody that the media is fake news, that he is doing okay, and he is ready to go back to work, and their president is there for them. His president is there. He's had tons of support. Tons of people who were on Fifth Avenue in New York City with Trump flags. That was pretty crazy. I saw an article in passing a little while ago. They're everywhere. They're outside Walter Reed. Everybody is pulling for him. All his supporters, at least. But we still have a lot that despise him. So what did he do? He orchestrated a little drive-by for everybody. According to the Daily Wire, leftists explode over Trump taking short ride outside the hospital. Charge him with crimes. Removed from power. Oh my God. These are the same people that were clapping when Black Lives Matter was burning down Target and tens of thousands of people, not socially distanced, half of them not wearing masks, the other half only wearing neck gaiters, not actual masks, because they just didn't want people to see their face while they were looting, not to stop coronavirus. FYI, neck gaiters are actually worse than nothing. They actually help disperse everything more. The things that go around your neck and you pull up over your face. Apparently, they're worse than nothing. Anyway, that's what everybody was wearing. Most of them. So it's okay if you go out for Black Lives Matter. If you're Antifa and you want to go spray paint "Let's kill cops" on the walls. You want to try and kill a cop, hit a cop in the head with a brick. That's all okay. You're just a myth. You're just an idea. You're not actually real. You're a figment of our imagination. Trump wants to take a quick spin around the parking lot of Walter Reed and just wave to people. He is a monster. He deserves to be imprisoned for the rest of his life. Left-wing media figures took to Twitter on Sunday afternoon following President Donald Trump took to Twitter on Sunday afternoon following President Donald Trump's temporarily leaving Walter Reed Medical Center and taking a short drive to see his supporters who are outside showing their enthusiasm for the president. The most notable hit came from Washington Post blogger Jennifer Rubin, who called for the Maryland Attorney General to indict Trump for reckless endangerment and assault. Oh, by the way, she's a real beaut, too. If anybody remember her, I think she was on Tucker a few times. She's one of the most insane. That one part of that group, like how are you actually a living human? How are you a human from Earth and not some alien from another planet? You know, that group. She goes, I would hope that if any harm comes to those agents, the Attorney General of Maryland will indict Trump for reckless endangerment assault. Yes, the virus he gives off count, etc. Now she's worried about law enforcement. That's very nice of her. She's worried about the Secret Service agents who are driving the car, who take bullets for the president. It's their job to take a bullet for the president. She's worried about them. That's nice. Nice that she cares now. Rubin suggested that Trump needed to be immediately removed from power through the 25th Amendment and claimed that the GOP was a death cult and not a pro-life party. I would suggest COVID has already impaired his judgment, so he is a risk to others. 25th Amendment, anyone? Next question to Pence. Intentionally risking the lives of others for personal gratification sounds like the actions of someone not in his right mind. When do you go to the cabinet to activate the 25th Amendment? Here's another one. The GOP is a death cult. Right. There is only one pro-life party, and it's not them. Oh, is the Democrats? The Democrats who enacted legislation that allows abortion up to 9 months? And after the baby's actually born, too? Which is effectively murder. It is. No, it's not effective. It is murder. It's 100% murder. Rubin also claimed that Trump was willing to infect his supporters, even through the windows that weren't rolled down in the SUV that he was in. That's intelligent. He is in the hospital for COVID and he wants to infect his supporters? CBS News reporter, fake news, please see the last video. David Begnaud complained that Trump appeared to not wear the correct type of mask. Oh, another one, the correct type of mask. Yeah. Oh, okay. The president who was infected with coronavirus doesn't appear to be wearing a medical-grade mask. There's a Secret Service agent in front of him. Begnaud wrote, the president looks to be wearing a cloth mask, similarity to the one he has occasionally been seen wearing. But wait, I thought masks work, though. I thought just wearing any type of mask is good. So why are we all wearing these stupid surgical masks and bandanas and people walking into Walmart with their shirts on their face like this? Why are we doing that? Why are we wearing the neck gaiters, like I said, that do less than nothing? Why are we shaming people for that? For not wearing those? So now he should be wearing a respirator now? A reporter for Vice News claimed that the Secret Service agent told her that Trump's actions were so reckless and careless and heartless. Just sent this video to a Secret Service source who responded so reckless and careless and heartless. Yeah, okay. White House physician Sean Connolly gave additional details on Sunday about Trump's overall health condition, saying, since we spoke last, the president has continued to improve. As with any illness, there are frequent ups and downs over the course, particularly when a patient is being so closely watched 24 hours a day. We review and debate every finding, compare it to existing science and literature, weighing the risks and benefits of every intervention, its timing, as well as any potential impacts a delay may have. So, they're talking about his oxygen. After about a minute, only 2 liters, the saturation levels were back to over 95%. So he was on oxygen for 1 minute. Well, that's where they were crying about his oxygen too. Let's check this out real quick. I'd like to take this opportunity now to given some speculation over the course of the illness the last couple of days, to update on the course of his own illness. Thursday night into Friday morning, when I left the bedside, the president was doing well with only mild symptoms, and his oxygen was in the high 90s. Perfect. Late Friday morning, when I returned to the bedside, The president had a high fever, and his oxygen saturation was transiently dipping below 94%. Given these two developments, I was concerned for a possible rapid progression of the illness. I recommended to the president we try some supplemental oxygen, see how he would respond. He was fairly adamant that he didn't need it. He was not short of breath. He was tired, had the fever. That was about it. After about a minute on only 2 liters of oxygen, was the absolute lowest setting on the dial, his saturation levels were back over 95%, stayed on that for about an hour, maybe, and it was off and gone. Okay. Later that day, by the time the team here was at the bedside, the president had been up out of bed, moving about the residents with only mild symptoms. Despite this, everyone agreed the best course of action was to move to Walter Reed for more evaluation. Okay, so the whole oxygen thing, the media's been freaking out that he was on oxygen and nobody told us. How could you? So his oxygen saturation was at 94%. Okay, for anybody with this much knowledge about it, let's put it this way. It's at this point, it should be common knowledge now. The hospitals were telling people or sending people home, put it that way, if their oxygen saturation level was above 90. So if you had COVID, if you felt sick or whatever, you went to the ER, you weren't feeling so good, they tested your oxygen saturation and you were 91, they would say, go home. Go home. You're not sick enough. And those people mostly recovered because 90 was low but not dangerous. Trump was 94. They put him on oxygen because, he's the president of the United States, like I said. Put him on oxygen. He was back up to 95 in a minute at the lowest dial setting. And that was it. He's the president. He gets a higher threshold than everybody else. Okay? So what they would tell me to go home. If it's something they would tell me to go home for, they would say, no, Mr. President, you're staying because we want to watch you more. Because he's more important. This is the bottom line. These people are so demented, they don't understand that if this was Barack Obama, or even if it was George Bush at this point, they would understand that. They wouldn't be behaving like this because they just have derangement syndrome. They are so ingrained in this mentality that we have to find some kind of story that paints him in a bad light, no matter what direction it takes us. No matter what we do, we have to portray him in a negative way because he's so dangerous to us, to our agenda, that we have to paint him in a negative light to as many people as possible. That's what it is. That's what it's all about. I don't know if we're ever going to be able to come back from this. The media will never be the same. And nobody's ever going to believe them ever again. And it's a damn shame. Guys, thanks for sticking with me. I'll see you on the next one.